This is two shy guys a mile high, and we're gonna run it like through.
Certified on the track.
Yo, we are back. It's Two Shot Guys a Mile High, 2CGMH. We in a new location now.
Man, we at the Manor. We at the Manor.
This is it was wavy, man.
Yeah, man. I call this Club Hollywood.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? So we at Club Hollywood chilling with the fellas today. This your boy P-Wil, Drip Chronicles.
It's your boy WB. Come fly with me, but you can't fly for free.
And it's your boy Al-Diga, the architect, steady building together.
Man, we're back, man. Season 7. Season 7.
Still alive, man.
I stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Made it through COVID, through all this.
COVID's over now, huh?
Stuff. Yeah, man. That's what
Is it over?
I mean, it's still in our minds, I'm sure, but I'm through with it. Let's move on with our lives and just realize that hopefully we had a chance to reflect on what's important, man.
You through with it to your health and safety protocol.
Oh, boy, he been played that future. We mask off out here.
Mask off. And listen, just be
I'm mask on.
No, but with flying though, I'm definitely mask on though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's just the situation, but like mostly people understand it. Like they ain't finna be on your face like that. I think it's a lot more.
I think it changed the game.
Shyness though. I think.
Hey, I'm mask on the podcast. Hey, if you see me mask off, it's allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Real. I gotta do what I need to do. Just keep the little one safe as it's growing inside. So I ain't trying to take nothing back to the crib.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
So like I said, allegedly.
That's all right anyway. Like I said, COVID's over. People just catching colds again now.
Yeah, and just better. Hopefully, people have better habits though. Because I know that was what at least COVID kind of lasered in a lot.
COVID is 3 feet no pressure for now on.
Right. Because I think we were close to people, but I'm like when people are sneezy and you know what I'm saying, coming to work, like I think we're gonna look at it differently now. Like go home, use those sick days.
Yeah, no, that's for real.
Don't spread germs. Period. Like I don't care if it's COVID, Ovid, whatever. Like if you're sick and you know you're sick, please do the due diligence to stay home or work out something because you're gonna do everybody a favor and yourself. By self-care in that matter. So yeah, that was the focus, bro.
Hey, COVID's over, bro. We on new things now, man.
I said, I hear what y'all talking about. I said we gotta be careful with their words. There's power in their words. You can't be just saying it's over like that. You feel me? I think that's the mentality you have to have, but sometimes you gotta realize there's power in your words. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like,
especially what's going on nowadays.
Because somebody might take a clip out of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you missed the whole context.
Yes, context, bro. Like that's. I think that's what was lacking in general before COVID, and it exposed a lot of that when you had to. Okay, are you really working from home? Like you really gotta start believing and trusting in the team and people you say you're trusting, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that exposed a lot of just really toxic cultures because I was just like, if you trust that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, like then all we should be talking about is how to make things better from that perspective, or keystroke everything I'm doing. Like for real, like where's the trust in the hiring process? Where's the trust in the culture? You know what I'm saying? Establishment. Because if it's not there, right? Like it got exposed. It got really exposed in COVID, man. Like, am I the only one kind of feeling like that, or I mean, just thoughts about that, man? Anything for real?
I was trying to see what you were going there. I wasn't ready for that to receive that question. I'm as transparent as possible. I really wasn't even thinking about the question until you asked the question. But
fair.
Man, I
feel like COVID changed the game, but it just made you have to be more wise at how you approach situations now. It definitely changed the dynamic. Now we see what is possible. It put us in we were pressured to act accordingly. So now we know how to officially, act that way. But it set boundaries up for a lot of different things.
Yes,
I
yes.
think.
And broke down some boundaries too, as well. That, you know what I'm saying? Like just
3 feet, no pressure.
yeah. Like I think, but like you said, to build on the boundaries issue, like people are now, I think, a lot more conscious of their time.
That's it. People are conscious of their time. People are conscious of their space. People are conscious of energy.
Their mental well-being for sure. Like
Hopefully you took the time in during this time to get your mental right, or at least start working on it.
Yeah.
It's about starting.
I would say that now I have to kind of download and process my thoughts, and build a program and script for it. I just feel that without certain situations happening, there's no innovation. Things don't change. So sometimes there is an avenue or vehicle or focus that gets shifted because something happens, which requires you to kind of switch it up, and a lot of new ideas happen, a lot of good, positive things happen too. Yeah. But all that is great. I think the battle you have is how do you change your mindset to build off of that, to make positives out of negatives. And then when things are back open, how do you keep that same energy instead of reverting back to your old habits and your old ways?
Yeah.
I think that's the balance, because I ain't gonna cap, like that's the biggest struggle right now. Like COVID or not, I feel like I was getting into a very good groove. I think things were forcing me to spend time by myself, forcing me to like go into those deep thoughts and to focus on the right areas, which is a big combination for the change that people may see in me, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta figure out how you can take that package and make sure that you're doing what you need to do so it can last with you for the tail of time.
Oh, yeah.
And what I'm hearing is habit forming, right? Like getting it to a point where it's ingratiated in your spirit and your movement, that new habit, that new focus, right? Because like you were saying, you didn't have the time to do that before, right? Life is just coming at you.
You had to dial in during this time. You had to dial in it up. Because
and just connect better with yourself too. I think that was the key in the awakening, quote unquote, if you will, the great, what they call the great resignation or whatever you want to call this period. I think folks really, like you said, hit the boundaries, hit the and get that stride. And
build
now,
momentum during this time.
How do you, like I said, how do you do that? It's the habit forming of changing the old habits, the bad habits, getting those out, adding something new. You know what I'm saying? Deleting the old habits, because the energy is still in you, it's still there, right? But now you have a different perspective. You're packaging it in a different way, and you're utilizing it in a different way. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Well, what you were saying earlier about like holding things against your word and how your word is. How do y'all feel about the things that's been going on around the world with like Kyrie, Kanye? What's your thoughts on that in terms of like your word being a thing? So you got to stand by your word. All I have in this world.
All I have in this world is
balls in my word. But
right.
how do you take it in terms of like, do you feel like, I feel like, I want to ask you first, how do you feel about those things being anti-Semitic? And then like, do you think that that's what this person meant? Or do you think that, or how do you feel like the NBA justified their execution on what he needs to do to bring it back, to come back and play?
I was going to quote this and say that I'm going to be real careful before I say this.
You got to be careful.
But I ain't going to even quote that because I got him saying some crazy stuff. Not necessarily crazy, but things that like really got him jammed up in life. So I'm not trying to bring that on myself, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that in America, you got to realize we do have the right to free speech, meaning that you can say whatever you want to, right? But you're not going to get knocked off like you're in Russia or there's somebody coming out. Like, see, I got to be careful with that. You're not going to get knocked off by somebody that is sent by the government or sent by somebody from the country if you're saying something. That's supposed to be what it is, right? But I think there is consequences in your words because your words have power, you know? I would say that I'm not going to even comment on how I feel about what Kyrie said, right, wrong, or indifferent, or what he did. I just feel like he said what he said. He didn't think probably there was like nothing too wrong with what he did because he was just endorsing something, right? Just passing it along. If he had the knowledge, I don't know. But it also shows you the power has ramifications. It means like, look, if you offend certain communities, certain people, that have ownership and influence and power, you can get jammed up real quick. And I'm just gonna leave it right there. I think there's power of ownership. If the collective ownership feels that whatever you were saying, I don't like you and it's bad for my business, you're gone. They're gonna get rid of you at the end of the day. So I think it shows that power of the words, you know? Right, wrong, or different on what I personally believe on what he said or not. I just, those consequences are there.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that because I'm not well educated to undergo. I have too many other things that I have going on in my own personal life to really be digging into what he said and really be digging into what Kanye said and in the context. And I don't have time to be trying to figure that out. All I can get is the snippets and clips, but it's going to take a lot of time for me to invest my energy into researching that on something that I feel like it matters if he was talking like real reckless and he was saying something very hurtful or anti-Semitic or whatever that like marginalized or made a certain community feel a certain type of way. Right. But at the same time, I don't have time enough to be researching that. I really don't. Because you can really start consuming that and be like, okay, it's a circus. Yeah. I could be trying to look into what he actually said, the context of how does it apply to other things in the history? Does it align with what he was saying back in the day and how he's moving in the future? It ain't no time, it ain't no time, it ain't no time. It takes a lot of energy for that. Quite honestly, I don't have the time. And Kyrie too, but your words have power. They said what they said, and they got they're in a predicament. They're in a jam.
Fair. Yeah. Wow. Like, bro, my brain is racing right now. And just to go on with what you're saying. I agree with everything you're saying. That's cool. No matter what has been said out here, I believe there's just been this oversensitivity to just people not either agreeing with somebody and just cancel culture. Or, you know what I'm saying? Not even but just these little nuanced things that, for whatever reason, not necessarily having a thick skin, but just not consciously thinking through how this can affect not only myself, but the others involved. I think there's just been this oversensitivity, meaning Kyrie says whatever Kyrie says. He's on such a big platform. Everybody has different personalities. Everybody has different upbringings. Everybody has different perspectives in life. Everybody has different thick skin. You know, I'm gonna bring it right back, but follow me. We come from Chicago, right? Denver, fam, like Florida, like these areas, we've had different experiences and we've been called slurred names, right? Like I've developed this thick skin to say, if you come at me with the N-word, okay, whatever. I get that. But I'm saying other people that are coming up now in this generation have only seen snippets of people's lives and assume that they're experts on their lives and can speak into their lives because of something that they said on 30 seconds of a clip. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm saying oversensitivity, I'm gonna bring it back because had we said some stuff like that or some shit like that, it's gonna be real. Like in any setting, it might not be blown out of proportion like that. Just because the audience is not as big as that of Kyrie or Kanye. You know what I'm saying? So it's like already there's scrutiny from anything they're saying from the get-go. So already there's a bias, I believe, to want to not dehumanize, but bring them down to a human-ish level because they're seen at such a high level. Even if they say the wrong little thing, they buy the wrong toilet paper, they're going to get, why aren't you buying Charmin? You're not supporting business. Somebody's going to find something wrong with any comment that they're having when there's such scrutiny there. And so many different personalities that's speaking into something that they have no context of. There's going to be misunderstanding. Yeah. Right? I don't know I'm not even into what he said. Like you said, fly with me. Like, I got other things to worry about, a business to run, a family to run, right? We got other things that we have focus on. This stuff is secular, for lack of a better word. Like, because our religion, meaning we're worshiping the process of being a good human, developing our lives. We ain't got time to be all up in their lives, dissecting it, because then that's already showing judgment, I believe, to like, well, why you didn't say this? So he didn't say it this way because I would have said it this way. Well, you're not him. The way he said it, okay, it's going to offend somebody. I can say everything in a wholesome way I love God. I said it, right? Now, somebody who's atheist could take offense to that. Am I supposed to not like God? Am I supposed to come back out? You know what I'm saying? So all this oversensitivity, I think, is leading to this movement of people canceling culture because they don't want to deal with their own insecurities and innuendos.
It's a convoluted. It's a topic,
it's a slippery
man.
slope, though.
Bro, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
And then social media just glorifies it and makes it more apparent, so more people can have opinions on whatever it is.
On your own life. Like, if you want to get to know somebody, go get to know them. Don't come at them with you made this 30-second comment. That's you right there. Because you could have caught that person at the worst time in their life, and now you capture that, and now everything that they've built up that's super positive has been judged on that one menial little thing that happened, taken out of context.
But then again, how do you feel about the apology?
It was a lot. I do feel...
Because I feel like the apology, I mean, it depends, like, who's going to take things, like, seriously, who's going to take it in the heart, because the extent of it was, okay, they apologized for it, but we don't think it's sincere. Whose place is to judge that?
Yeah, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
That's a super slippery slope.
That's where it gets, you know what I'm saying, the lines get blurred.
Yeah, like the whole situation is crazy because when you see the fact that he got suspended, then he issued an apology, it looks like it was forced. How does that make it look? Then you
but that's not to say that even if it's forced, like, how you feel about it.
He took the time.
I don't. That's why I'm like, it's a lie.
But some people, but it's a learning moment for some people, because now he might took it to the fact that now I know I've learned from this, but it's like, at what cost? Is it because he lost these things or like this? So that's what that's what I mean by, you got to take your word for it, because it's like, then when is your word not your bond no more?
But that's why I said it's so crazy, because I don't have time to really go back. But I get like pieces of the clips that I saw when Kyrie, he was responding to questions at the press conference. Obviously, it was a moment. He was like, "Look, I feel like I don't have to explain myself to you." You know what I'm saying? Which is valid, which is true. But at the same time, I feel as though it's up to you and how you feel, and these people want to be viewing you. Like, if you really don't care, you don't have to explain yourself. But if you are caring about that a little bit, and you know what, I feel like sometimes you got to explain yourself so other people can. But some people don't even take value in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might
so
be
at
one
the
of those
same time, there's that, and then asking a question like, how can you take time to figure out where he's coming from if he won't even explain himself? I'm not saying that he won't, because that was a very contentious way the person was asking the question. So it's like, I can see where he's coming from. It's like, I don't have to explain anything to you. I'm a basketball player. I did something. I'm just out here playing basketball. I'm just here because I'm not trying to get fined on some Marshawn. I have to answer questions. I'm just trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
I don't have time for you to understand me. I'm trying to perfect this game and play this game that I love. And then at the same time, you get punished. You know what I'm saying? And you take away the very thing that he probably loves the most, or one of the things that he loves the most. I know he's not like, that's not the only thing he loves, but he's very passionate about basketball. He's very good about basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his craft. So at the same time, seeing how that was stripped away from him, basically by not having an apology. Maybe, like you said, maybe you realize it was something that he couldn't live. So it's so tough. Like, I have my own theories and views in my own head, but there's so many different variables. It's like, you drive yourself crazy trying to piece the puzzle together. And I don't even know Kyrie like that. I know him as a basketball player, but that's not my immediate family. That's not my brother. That's not like one of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How much effort am I really going to put into that?
Now, fair. Now, to bring it practical, to, like, let's say a team setting, right? Like, practical setting where this person is getting ousted without due process, if you will. Like, he said something in a meeting and it was like, all right, you're out of here. Like, he's been there for however long. Let's just say he's been working at this company, working for you for
Elon Musk getting rid of folks left and right.
Yeah.
15 years. But
And he getting rid of y'all blue checks. Pay up.
$8.
But he came in as
I need my money on time.
You know what checks I'm gonna need for you to get your check? I need a check for a check.
Man.
At least $8.
Wow, that's a whole. Ooh.
Blue checks.
He said I want revenue off top now. But
He said Nipsey Blue.
he said revenue off top.
Hey, shout out to Nipsey. And the documentary coming. I just peeped that.
All right.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
too busy to continue, right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to have our thoughts on that.
But let's say the due process, right? Like, because it was swift, like how he lost his contracts and things like that. It was like days, right? It was like he said this in days. I'm saying you've been playing for a team, for an organization for over 10 plus years. I mean, I'm saying where's the statute of limitations as far as like get the mediation done before you just say I'm done with you?
I feel like,
You know what I'm saying? It's instant. Like there's no you don't even have a chance to explain. And people making the decisions don't even have the context.
It's straight 3-bet.
Man.
Like, yo, that's what you're saying? All right, Jam, I'm all in. What you gonna do?
And so that's where I just have the problem with it. So as a teammate, like how would you handle that? You know what I'm saying? If you saw somebody kind of getting ousted like that, no, and I guess maybe you'd imagine it has to give them the boot. Like how would you?
I'm mad at answering questions for no reason, no cap. Like,
there's a lot of questions out there, man, because it's like
a leadership question. I mean,
I
how
feel
would you
it.
handle that? Because like due process was, I think it was.
I feel like he chopped it up with. I feel like he chopped it up with Adam Silver. They had the conversation of what they said, and he said he doesn't feel like he's that way. Like once he's the head of it. He's what makes it the rules to go into it. I feel like he makes the decision at the end of the day, and then everybody else in terms of deal with him, sponsored and stuff, they make their decision. If they chop it up with him, I feel like he should at least get the chance to get it. And then I feel like as him being a person that's trying to understand what his truth is and understand that he made a mistake on what he posts. He said he's sorry for it. I think things get viewed however you view it, and you have your own viewpoint on anything about your religion, who whatever it is.
Right.
You have your own thoughts on it. I feel like you got to come to a consensus on how things are going to get treated. He chopped it up with the leader of the sport, who happens to be a member of the race that was offended or people that were offended, and then he came to his conclusion. You got to make a decision, though. I feel like they string it along for if it's going to be something, you be out of it, or what does it take to be. I guess you got to take your time on that too, but I feel like it's a slippery slope. I feel like it's kind of tough to judge. What you were saying, Dub, I feel like I agree with that, a lot of what you're saying, because the power and ownership, make decisions if you own something, and you got to stay for your word and live by it. So I feel like it should come to some resolution, because I feel like things are at limbo, but it takes time to deliberate and figure out what needs to happen.
It's been a lot of just.
I feel like there's a lot of shit to unload.
Yeah, a lot of shuffling around, a lot of misunderstandings happening, a lot of people just kind of I don't know, making some rash judgment calls, man. And that's affecting people's lives, man. You know what I'm saying? Like with the whole weed thing, like. I get it, but wow. I mean, anyway, man, we can talk about that, but I think like in the grand scheme of things, like personal development is where when you become more aware of like how your words have power and how to harness the power of words and the power of your story, the power of your truth. Then now we can speak in honesty, and it's not being like, well, you should have said it this way, because everybody's always going to have their way of doing something and think that that's the way everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? It's not the case.
And it has a consequence, like it or not. Y'all be careful. If you don't feel comfortable with the question, I would deflect it. I'm not answering that. Just be real and keep it moving on.
Marshall Lynch was ahead of his time.
I just don't. There's no other way behind it. Because they force you to go to these press conferences or they will find you, right? So you have to be available to the media. And then you can just be up there asking any questions you want. And they think that you have to be, quote unquote, respectful and answering all the questions, but maybe I don't feel like answering.
No, that's fair. But I hope the conversations keep going, like we're not scared to have conversations because it's tough or because people might take it the wrong way. Like that's when you don't evolve as a person. Like you can't even speak out, or at least in a meaningful way. Like you're not out here being an asshole to people, but you're at least articulating yourself in a way that's respectful and that's hopefully inclusive in your speaking. It's not just like, oh, these people over here, there's this. Like, no, that's not how anybody should be thinking. You know what I'm saying? It should be how are we all winning? You know, and that's a different awareness. Everybody's not going to get to that.
I just wonder how they're going to do things when we getting so further into this virtual metaverse type of words and your thought is all you go by. Like, when does it become something that you can't have your own thoughts?
I don't have the answer to that.
But I feel like we're pushing so far.
It's a very true limit.
We're pushing so far towards all of this, and I feel like we don't have a great answer. No one has an answer that everyone's okay with.
When I think about just everything in general, I know that there's law, there's order, and there's things to keep us safe and protect us. But from the outside, when I look at it at a holistic picture and try to really think big picture, think like big systems, and be rational and real and logical, from the outside looking in, like, my brain is telling me, like, yes, there are things probably in work for control. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just depends on what type of level that you're going to take it as conspiracy theorists. But I'm not that naive enough to not realize that, like, some of these plans are man plan, but they're not his plan. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Big H, Big J, all day. But from the outside looking at it, a lot of this stuff is looking like really, really suspicious sometimes.
Man, you just gotta stick to your truth, and that's all you can do. You can only control the controllables, man. And that's one of these situations where, I mean, if he apologizes, he apologizes. And what can you say? Some people, like you said, some people think it's sincere, some people not. And now, where do you go from here? You know, how do you treat him now?
I feel like you gotta have an open mind on that end too.
Yeah,
sure do.
So it's like you gotta have an open mind on that end if you're talking about coming towards a place of peace and being equal.
Right. And I think that's what,
because people can learn from things, and I don't know, depends on what he's done and how he's felt from it, but maybe he's at peace with it, and maybe why are we even talking about it at that point? You know what I'm saying?
Discussion about you know, the style and grace and way we treat each other. You know, we hope that, you know, that can be echoed out here in the world. Like, we're not perfect, obviously, but I'm saying, like, when I make a decision, especially when it comes to you guys, like, I'm gonna ask you, hey, how you feel about that? You know, because I trust your advice, your judgment. You know, I can at least
took the LeBron route.
Have it. You know, so I can at least have some counsel. You know, because that's what you need in your life. You know, you can't just be out here buck wild by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because now you don't have enough information to make an informed decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, 3 different perspectives here, right? Like, we can put a topic on the table and 3 different perspectives, and now hopefully when somebody else picks that up, now they can understand it from their perspectives. Now it's not just me saying something, and you know what I'm saying, now they can have a different perspective, a different view of the topic or whatever we're discussing, and that lets you grow. So that's weird. My phone is on vibrate.
Okay, that's right.
Yo, you suspended, bro. Like, yo.
How did it ring?
Yo, you finna get, he gonna get a 1-show suspension. He just gonna have to show up. We gonna record. We gonna have to tell you when you can talk.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, you're gonna have to apologize to the audience
technical
too.
Foul, man.
If you don't apologize to the audience, there's one show you can't say nothing until they let you say something.
Mm-hmm.
They know Quinn Collins, like, for real, like, it's all vibrant and it ranks still. So
you gonna lie to the commissioner?
No,
hey.
just tell me sure what happened, man.
Hey, the audience heard what happened. You gonna lie to the commissioner?
Bro.
Suspended indefinitely.
Indefinitely, you're canceled.
Nah, this fall big.
The architect, he's out of here.
The architect's done.
The architect built a faulty home with that light told us.
Oh man,
it fell down.
Hey.
No, but you onto something, man. We have to keep, like, moving forward and developing, bro. Like, this stuff is, if you have understanding in the community, any community that you're in, you can make a mistake, and at least you'll be able to talk about it you know what I'm saying, get forgiveness from that community. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, especially if it wasn't something like just straight demonic and crazy and out of pocket, like he might have just said something and he, you know, it was out of context. Right?
Out of context, could be uninformed. Like, I mean,
I don't know. Like, I
don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen the film, so I don't know what it's about. I just hear the gist of, like you said, man, I be on my grind so much that I just hear inklings about what's going on and what's happening to stay informed and to learn from things like this.
Exactly.
So you got to be open to learning from it and knowing like how to act out here in the streets, because it's always an eye on you, especially that being somebody at his caliber. He's a professional, glorified, but he just probably just think like I don't know.
But I think that's just a real, just honest point. What you said, you never know who's watching. Period, point and blank. Like that applies to anybody, everybody. It's just that microscope or that it's magnifying that much more possibly, but you never know who's looking and you never know who's listening.
Looking, who can be offended by what you say, but then you also got to give him a chance to say what he meant.
I'm just trying to show the same grace that was shown to me. I'm working on it day by day, but I think that's the part, you know.
That's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part. But it's what we have to do. It's what we have to do.
I'm just nervous about how the way the world's going, man. It's just getting to more of a point where it's getting more metaversey, man. This metaverse, man. We in this metaverse.
Man.
But I guess metaverse didn't do so well.
But you always own your own IP, so I guess you got to control that. You got to really keep that intellectual property intact.
Yeah, that's real.
It's scary though. I mean, if you're thinking you're gonna go virtual, like we talked about. When you get on virtual, there's different rules. And it ain't even us, bro. It's the next generations.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it, we just seeing it unfold. Like we're living in that in that time frame of seeing things unfold, man.
It's cool. That's a cool opportunity. I think we get to see just from our age group and seeing how things evolve. We're talking about the Dreamcast evolving to the Xbox with the online gaming ahead of the time. We went dial up to some real, you know what I'm saying, 14K, 28. You know, 5.6, 14.4, 28K. Then you talk about like DSL, cable modem, fiber optic. Like we've come along. Like
we're coming along.
We're talking from like bytes to megabytes to terabytes to petabytes. Like it's getting crazier and crazier. So I think we've seen the transition on so many levels, on so many things. If it's gonna be a blessing to see it as it like unfolds. You know what I'm saying?
These next few years, man. I mean, people are definitely thinking differently for sure.
Yeah, definitely things going in a way different direction.
Yeah, innovation. I mean, it's a lot of great tech, but also, you know, scary stuff like Black Mirror episode type stuff.
It's getting closer.
Well, you just gotta listen.
Some of that's coming true already.
Mm-hmm.
Understand it. Don't be a slave to it. You know what I'm saying? Understand it. Utilize it for efficiency of life, but don't disconnect so much where it's just. That's all you about. I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying for me, I like the physical connection as well as the virtual. How you doing? I can see you. You know, but I don't want to replace that for, you know, in person. You know, being able to physically see somebody and give them a hug. You know, be able to see their facial expressions and actually feel the energy in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish for us to be able to continue to do that.
Yeah, I ain't ready for that change.
You know, still be able to connect.
You gonna put that suit on.
Like acting boy. No, that's not. No, that's a whole different podcast.
Definitely interesting perspectives, man. It's been a crazy topic, but coming on toward the end of the year, I'm just excited for where things are going for us, man. It seems like we still hitting it up and up. Continue to, you know, get through the rest of this year, man, and rock out for the fans, man, and for the listeners. We appreciate everybody always tapping in with 2CGMH. Mm-hmm. Hotel Hollywood, Club Hollywood. Anytime, bro. It's just another one of the layers, man.
Really, we out here, man. Thank you. Just for being, you know, honest out here, guys. Like, and trying to, you know, just help what we can. Like, because I don't want our future generations to go through some of the things that we went through and us not be able to at least, you know, say, hey, think about this as well, you know, while you make your decisions. Because I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We just out here trying to spread the knowledge that, you know, that was passed on to us, you know what I'm saying, by our ancestors. You know, I believe, you know, hey, we here because of them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ubuntu, right? I am because we are.
Oh, I thought that was the operating system. I didn't know that.
No.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am because we are. Like, for real. Like, I told you before, I'm not being the best version of me without counsel from, you know what I'm saying, my brethren, you know, and that's expert counseling. You know what I'm saying? So we jab each other, we talk stuff, smack or whatever, but at the end of the day, like we say, we want the best for each other, we want the best out of each other. And that just means accountability in a fun way, in a way that's going to be authentic, for lack of a better word, and deep connected. Because, like, for real, like, we've been doing this, man, 7 seasons, bro. Like, this is, it's incredible, man. Like I said, we're going to do it. Let's keep going. Thank you.